welcome to day 13 of this 30 Days of Pentatonic Licks. And today we're going to play a simple lick just in pattern 1. It has a few notes that go into pattern 2, but just on the bottom string, so mostly in pattern 1. And I'm going to give you two options for this, the two that I just showed you. So you can play it in single notes, or you can play it with double stops. And it's going to be a bluesy lick, and we're going to be using the blues note in this one. Okay, so let's get right into the riff. So we're going to start in the first position of B minor pentatonic. That's going to be on the 7th fret here. You're going to bar the first and second string of the 7th fret with your index finger, and then pick those notes. Now there's so many different ways you can play this stuff, so I try to tell you as many different options as I can, but feel free to go with your feeling, go with your playing. So these two notes that we're going to play first actually go together well as a double stop, like this. You can play them together and they sound like a proper double stop. They sound like they're in tune and in key. So you can play them together and let them ring together, or you can play them and stop them and make them sound like single notes. So you're going to start by playing first string, second string, first string on the 7th fret, just barring it like this. So you can play it single notes like that, or you can let it ring. It would sound nice too, especially with distortion on it sounds cool. So like that, okay? So 1, 2, 1. And then slide up with your 3rd finger all the way to the 12th fret. So and then the 10th fret on the 1st string. Slide up from, you just slide up from wherever you are. You don't have to slide up from a particular note. So it's like 1st string, 2nd string, 1st string on the 7th fret. And then slide up to the 12th fret on the 1st string, and then play the 10th fret on the 1st string. So it sounds like this. And if you were letting the note ring, it would sound like this. Okay, so it's kind of like you hear the notes ringing together, and then it gets cut, it gets stopped. So when you slide to that single note, it sounds like an abrupt change. So single notes would be like this. Double notes letting it ring, and then the abrupt change would be like this. So it makes those single notes stand out a little more. So whatever way you want to play it. And then you're going to bring your 3rd finger on the 12th fret on the 2nd string and play that, and then the 10th fret on the 2nd string. All together. And that's the whole first half of the riff. Then we're going to come back to the 7th fret, 1st finger on the 7th fret on the 3rd string, 3rd finger on the 9th fret on the 3rd string. And this is where you have two different options between the double stops or the single notes. So I'll show you single notes first. Would be you bend the 9th fret up, down, and release like this. So you bend up, come down, pull off, and put the finger back on and pick again. So 9 is bend, release, pull off, hammer on. Or put your finger back on and pick it. You don't hammer on. So this would be the blues note here. So if you bend up to that, it doesn't have to go up to this. So that would be, if you bend it like that, it would sound like this. Right? So it sounds a little more, you're really bending up a lot higher. So it's just like the blues note. It's a little bend. So just up to that 10th fret there. So 9th fret, it's bend up to the 10th fret, release, pull off, and then put your 9th fret finger back on and pick it. So all together it would sound like this. Okay, and then the last two notes, you bring your 1st finger back on the 7th fret of the 3rd string and hammer on just to the 8th fret. So this note right here, actually what it is if you were blending the major and minor pentatonic together. I have a video on this if you want to check it out. It's a little more complex of a technique, but it's blending the major and minor pentatonic scales together. So if you blend the 1st position of the major pentatonic, of the minor pentatonic, B minor, and the B major pentatonic, if you blend the 2nd position of the B major pentatonic, don't get confused, don't have to understand it, just so you know what I'm doing. The 2nd position of B major pentatonic and the 1st position of B minor pentatonic. You blend those together, and this note would be from the major pentatonic, okay? So this isn't the blues note that we're putting in here. This is the blues note. So that's the blues note in there. And this would be from the major pentatonic, 7 to 8. And then put the third finger on the 4th string on the 9th fret. And that's the end of the run. So hammer on, 7, 8, and then third finger on 9th fret on 4th string. Like that. So the whole thing goes like this. Just from the 9th part, here's the bend from the 3rd string. So like that. So slowly. Like that. All right? So that's the whole riff. Here's the alternative for the ending. When you come to the 9th fret, when you come to that bend, when you come to that part, you can do double stops. So it sounds a little more raunchy, a little thicker, a little heavier. It's nice for blues. So it'd be like, that's so good. I love blues. So to do that, you would just bar the 9th fret with your 3rd finger. You would bar the 2nd and 3rd strings on the 9th fret, and do the same thing on the 7th fret with your 1st finger. Bar the 2nd and 3rd strings on the 7th fret. Then it can be a little tough to get this without hitting other strings and getting it clean, but practice, practice and you'll get it right. So you hit the 2nd and 3rd string at the same time with your 3rd finger on the knot, barring the 9th fret, so like that. So you hear both notes. And then you bend that up, just like you did before. For like this one, you do the same thing, but with the 2 notes on, so. Okay, so you're bending up, down, release to the 7th fret with the 2 fingers barred, right, on the 2nd and 3rd, so. And then you put the finger back on, all double stops. Okay? And then you also still keep your 7th fret barred for that part when you hammer on. And you pick that double stop, and then you just hammer that one finger, the 2nd finger on the 8th fret of the 3rd string. So you go. Okay, so it changes the way the double stop sounds. It's pretty cool. Like that. And then the last note is still single, the 9th fret on the 4th string. So the way that would sound is. Okay, so all together it would sound like. All right. So that was a short one, a quick one. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. And don't worry about the blending of the major and minor pentatonic too much. There is a video on here, but the first thing to get is the minor pentatonic scale. Memorize that really well, and then know how to make the major pentatonic from the minor pentatonic, which is just moving it. It's not a big deal. It's just sliding it back. It's just confusing in the mind maybe, but it's very, very simple. It's not a complex idea, the major pentatonic from the minor. It's just moving back and shifting positions, okay? So the second pattern of the minor pentatonic is the first pattern of the major pentatonic. That's pretty much all that the difference is, okay? So, if you have any questions about any of that stuff, there's videos on all of that. If you have anything specific though that you have questions about or confused about, let me know and I'll make a video specifically on that, all right? So I'll see you tomorrow for day 14. And until then, take care.